If you stumble upon this live, I want it to be something that's going to uplift you. That if you are feeling down, if you're feeling out, that, hey, the couple of seconds that you're here, you feel a little bit better. And the reason why I say that is because I study the nature of reality and I study the science of consciousness and of who we are. Essentially, I'm a student of gnosis, right? Gnosis of self, actually. That's kind of like what I refer to myself as. Because when you find out that you are more than what you were taught by science or the religions, right? When you find out that your existence in nature is in actuality, a divine event, right? Like, you have to understand that as a spirit inhabiting a temple, having this particular experience, you are contributing to the expansiveness of the unified mind that everyone would know as God, as source. Understand that you're playing an integral part in the cycle of God. There's a reason why God creates. There's a reason why God self-separates to have all these separate different experiences, all these different entities as everything. There's a reason why that happens, because it is within the experience that consciousness expands, because your consciousness is essentially your attention. And once you could pay attention to something greater, your field of vision tends to expand with it. I mean, I guess the best thing that I could do is, like, take an ant, for example, right? If we were to take an ant's field of vision, what does he see on the horizon when he looks out and above, right? What does it look like to him? He sees a world that is giant, that is celestial, and just regular things. But now we can look at that same neighborhood and we can be like, yeah, no, this is the ghetto. Like, no, this is trash. I want to get out of here. So what is majestic and the only life that ant will ever know? To us, because of our perspective, is, nah, it's the ghetto. I'm gonna hop on a bus and I'm gonna go to the good side of town, right? Or I have to look at that. So what do you think is gonna happen when consciously we're more aware? The prospect of us, our field of vision expands even more. Like when we start to see more into spiritual things, when we start to see more with our unified mind eye, our all-seeing eye. How are our perspectives going to shift in the way we see things now, right? So now it's going to go from, oh wow, this is the ghetto, to, oh wow, this is energy here, right? Because, okay, what I would consider the ghetto in actuality is a strategic plan of attack upon a group of Aboriginal people on their land, in a sense to set up a systematic energy trap where their energy is used for the benefits of others more than it is used for the benefit of those giving up the energy. And they're used as a mnemonic device or a storytelling device to set a narrative and why the system is the way it is, and to strengthen their thing, right? And you're like, whoa, bro, wait, what the heck? what was that? What are you talking about? This is the ghetto. Like, no, we can go in even deeper than that. This is a place where this is an environment that was created so that the people that are on this land going through this experience is producing a low vibrational frequency in which other entities now feed on. You are essentially living in a zoo when you're looking at something that is like the ghetto or projects or anything like that. There is a reason why everything is set up that way, why those complexes are built that way, right? There's a reason why every single one you go to, there's a particular energy that you're going to go to. But now that's not to stop, because you understand that in everything that you go to, you're always going to find a couple of homes that's just like a bright spot, a light spot, right? And most times you're going to find a nice divine goddess there, an original woman there, because they're the light bringers, right? But now you understand that, once you understand that that environment is manufactured by those in power, you have to understand, well, why? These are the same entities that are feeding on us, are giving them the abilities to do everything that they can do. And you're asking yourself, well, what superpowers are these entities giving the government? What superpowers are given to the people running this world by these entities? Well, you have 44 million Aboriginal Americans in this country. And those 44 million Aboriginal Americans have about a spending power of about 800 billion, I believe, 800 million, 800 billion. I can't really remember, but it's a lot. In terms of entertainment, it is those 44 million Aboriginal Americans that make up about 90% of the entertainment. In terms of sports, in terms of acting, in terms of music, in terms of everything. Understand that everything that is entertaining to this land is based off the cultures that were created by the Aboriginal people of this land, right? And I'm talking Aboriginal to the North Americas, to the Caribbeans, to the South Americas, because we got to understand we were the same Indians. They're the ones who broke it up. Those country names: Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, South America, North America. Those are their designations. Those are their names for the lands, because those are the things that they conquered. If you look like this is your land, this is Aboriginal, this is all your land, right? So, but now it's like, dang, bro, that's exactly. When your field of vision starts to expand, the things that are in your environment, they don't look the same. Just as the thing that you're looking at is not going to be the same thing that a fly is looking at. We can be looking at the same thing, but because of the mere shift in perspective and what we know in our experience with our environment, we understand that garage, that to a fly, oh my goodness, that is a mountain. That is a mountain that sometimes moves and just energy generates from there. And if I don't be careful, I can easily end up dead or trapped in there. But to us, it's a garage, bro. Like, we open it, we close it, this, that, and the other. Yeah, sometimes we might get the raid and kill the flies that we see there. Yeah, sometimes we might get the fly swatter and hit a couple of things. And yeah, sometimes the garage door might close and there might be a couple of flies in there. We don't give it a second thought. They're just flies. Yet to the fly, that's a whole life culture shifting thing, because now if it's a couple of flies that are there, right, and then those flies end up mating and having children, well, guess what? Those larvae, those flies are now born into that garage. And let's say you don't open that garage for a week, right? So now you have a whole family of flies that know nothing but that garage, that are just replicating. You got generations of flies going on in there, and that's processing, that's developing how them as flies from that lineage is developing, both consciously, genetically, and everything. I know it's just flies, so you never really think about it. But all life has a similar same function, because if you're saying all life stems from evolution, well, this is evolution. Evolution is based on your environment. You know this, right? They tell you this, but you just don't go deep into it enough. You just say, no, right? So then you open your garage, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, and all of a sudden those flies, right? Because if the lifespan of a fly is 24 hours, right? You think for three weeks? That's 21 generations of flies that lived and existed only there. So now you open that door, now that sunlight is coming in, and oh my goodness, they're exposed to an expanded universe. In a sense, their ascension has come to pass, right? And now they can go off into that new earth where there's going to be different experiences. But now the experiences that these flies had amongst in this garage, when those flies venture off and they have kids, and then their kids venture and mix with the other flies, and then that genetic memory of being over here in this garage is going to pass down and down and down and down. So now understand that if you do just something as simple as opening and closing your garage door, you just affected a generation of insects, a generation of spirits who had an experience that when they ascend, when they pass away, and that energy eventually goes up to the unified mind of God, just played a part in expanding the mind of God. Whoa, what the heck was that, right? We don't think about stuff like that. But even so, flies might last longer than 24 hours, but I use that just as a reference for storytelling, for the most part, just to give you an actual number times, because we really develop in a left brain society where, hey bro, we need numbers, we need this, we need that. So I guess by just using that standard of 24 hours is just to give you a sense hey, if the lifespan of a fly is 24 hours, this is how many generations it's going to go through. But even if it's a little bit more, you're still talking about 4 or 5, 6 generations at the least, and that's still something that's substantial, right? But but it is what it is. But yeah, so we have to understand that in terms of that, right? We see things differently. We have a different perspective on it. So that's why when I have these conversations with people, bro, you're not going to be talking to someone who's going to be going to page 1 of Google to get his arguments. No, bro.